Hey everyone, this is Par 73, bringing you Game 2 of the Myth World Cup 1999 top bracket match between the Sabre Rummers and the Fellowship of Stoneheim. I have introduced all of the players in the previous videos, so for now we will keep identities at a level of mystery. And moving forward here, the Fellowship have a 7 points overall, 3-point lead, 7 points overall to the Sabre Rummers 4. Sabre Rummers, I believe, now have one additional player in all one eye, so the match has changed from a 5-7 to a 6-7. Last game, Fellowship opted to get one puss, and they were aiming for a satchel puss bomb that was never able to pop out. El Pegboy, aka El Bastard, was attempting to get that off. He was not successful. We'll have to see this game if he can pull that off, as that is always glorious to see if you're able to pull it on your opponent. In his defense, at the time, most of these players are playing on 56K dial-up at the very origins of esports. In this 96 team event, only 12 teams will be remaining following the DE4 weekend, which currently is taking place. 4 teams are already eliminated at the moment. We'll see who else. We will move into round 5 following these top bracket matches, and moving out here as the game begins. Odin and Blackbeard taking the dwarves for the teams. A lot more dwarves for the Sabre Rummers going on offense, whereas it looks like a lot more dwarves. Yeah, I'm sorry, and a lot more dwarves on defense for the Fellowship. Scurvy Dog, also known as Wayward One, the only player to remain on defense for the Sabre Rummers. And All One Eye is moving out, manning the gold pack, previously manned by Blackbeard. Scouting out for his team. Hopefully he's quick to turn around here and disengage, as Odin is the type of yellow belly player to be looking for ratios at all times. I believe I hear some fire burning, and I believe this strategy employed is the ground can only be burned once, and although it is not reflected in the HD, you can see here that if it's already burned, then your units up top will not come into enemy fire. And last game we saw Fellowship playing the turtle game, and it worked out in their favor. They were able to keep a lot of their units alive and able to nail a 2-point contest, whereas Sabre Rummers literally lost the point in the final 5-10 seconds of the game. And unable to net any contest points. Neither team able to capture each other's team's flag. So whereas what you would have is just simply a tie game in the modern era of win, ties, and losses, for the preferred scoring system by tournament organizers, you actually had points scored within the tie, and these games are pretty long. This game is 16 minutes long, a 2.5 minute planning time. We have 13 minutes left to go, and it looks like Sabre Rummers is pushing forward, similar to last game. Molly actually poking his head out of the Fellowship turtle shell a little bit earlier, and Ballistic and El Pegboy's flank. They want to take advantage of Pete and his large group of Malay over here, but as you can see, Pete's keeping his units spread out. And it's interesting to note that some of the players are changing or have different sizes in their formations, while others do not. And I know some people weren't even made aware of this until years later. You could change your formations in Myth 2, which is very helpful in controlling your units. And old One Eye is going to taunt his opponent over here, but Ballistic has the last laugh. And I don't know why Pete won't fire off a little fire arrow here and try to set off that satchel. In fact, he might do it now, a perfect little pinch. But those arrows will be dry. And it wouldn't have mattered anyway, as El Bastard's going to pick that satchel back up. And look at this, some archer dodging. It's really hard to believe, but it's actually happening. Although this is the passive of all passive gaming. And Whitey looking to apply some pressure on the high rise over here. But it seems Moby's units will be out of range. Whitey might even move in to sneak in. If he's able to harass this dwarf a little, he might be able to get a much needed contest for the Sabre Rummers to try to retake the lead in this 5-game series, although it is still very early in the series. Some archers gonna go down for Yellow Belly.
Stand clear.
Meanwhile, it looks like Fellowship units are pinched here, but not by anything significant. The score at the moment is 9-9. Blackbeard instructing to Odin to just contain Yellow Molly's 30% mid. 30% to 20, that's not, that is not a bad trade. Old One Eye in the vicinity though, 10%, so it's still a fair barrier, as it looks like El Pegboy is going to make a run for the Sabre Rummers whole flag here, and Ballistic almost able to secure a kill. And similar to last game, we have the Sabre Rummers hightailing it besides their far aggressive flank, looking to contain the push, all influenced by the scoring system, which is based on unit trading point ratios. For example, on the flag defending the Wayward One, he has a combined 19 points, Journeyman and Dwarf are 6 apiece, and
contested.
the 7 Thrall are 1 apiece, and we have some satchels going down. So let's see how this plays out. I don't think that's gonna hit much of anything.
Flag contested.
And there's a dud. He's gotta pick it back up. Pick it up, broski. And we do have a satchel plus going down. So that was 19 points. And they had maybe 5 goals, which are 2 apiece, which would net 10. So at most, they could actually get a 50% contest there, which would net them 5 points. Last game, it was interesting because I believe it was just 1 point shy of 50% in regards to contests, but I could be wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure they just triggered the contest by just simply contesting it. We got a Stygian Warrior Classic duel over here. Ballistic and Pete the Cabin Boy squaring off. And the Warrior with a superior advantage over the Stygian here. Able to block the Stygian's hits. Not take any damage in return. And all One Eye is going to help zone the Stygian out. It will go down. It's interesting because I have a firm belief that difficulty does influence the game beyond single player. And in light of that, the Warrior worth 2 points beats the Stygian worth 3 points in one-on-one combat, albeit the Stygian is immune to range precision units. With the normal difficulty, it would make sense to me that the Warrior would be able to block, not take damage, and take the Stygian on 1 versus 1. But under the conditions of legendary difficulty, I would like to see the same occurrence on the same patch and see what happens, because those Stygians on legendary are quite scarier than on normal difficulty. And if difficulty didn't matter in times before likened unto death, then why enforce normal difficulty? But regardless, Blackbeard will now be coming to pressure Molly's archers as he takes pot shots at Pete the Cabin Boy. Captain Blackbeard protecting his cabin boy, and Ballistic getting zoned out. Wayward 1 getting off a shot, putting Pete on his toes. Pete's actually split up here. You might want to just toss those units away, or Blackbeard might want to take control of these, as with 4 minutes and 30% remaining, Whitey is all locked up, unable to actually push or contest here. Although this goal might sneak in, and with that dud it should be able to, but he needs to keep it moving. And another dud. He might go for a contest here. He's gonna have to be quick on his feet. The archer's unable to hit him, but he's gonna get boxed in and closed out. And Ballistic, I'm surprised he doesn't just go for a contest here. Although, because Fellowship has already achieved that 50% contest for 5 points, throwing a single unit at it, I do not believe would actually have value. Although,
flag contested.
Maybe it's scored again and promotes more engagement. I don't know. We will We will have to see how it is scored on the Myth World Cup 1999 website, which is accessible through search engines around the globe, even Yahoo for any of those interested in looking at the website in China. And Odin making some moves with his dwarf. I don't know what he's trying to do. It's unfortunate his dwarf cannot fire up, and a little pop by old Atkinson is going to take this defense to a solid level. However, he's out of position for Yellow Belly's push, and with 2:30 to go, we have the Sabre Rummers starting to move into position to try to push. Whitey taking damage all over the place. Mobit's dwarf easily taking out Whitey's dwarf. Whitey just losing warriors. And it looks like he's just gonna push right in. Might have wanted to have been moving a little bit sooner. Time is of the essence. And he might go to hug the cliff wall here. Sabre Rummers desperate for a contest. And all One Eye unable to pull it off, although we have Yellow Belly moving in on their opponent's flag here. Some nice dwarfing by Rummox, also known as the Flummox, and some combination play of Molly and Moby. Although the flag is briefly contested, they're going to be able to take out Pete the Cabin Boy's archers as well as Odin's incoming forces. And the Fellowship defense is held. Blackbeard says we're still down 2 points. Wasn't worth it. Though I believe they got off a brief contest there, so that should count for 2 points. Although they might have actually lost 20% in the process. And with 30 seconds to go,
30 seconds remaining.
The Sabre Rummers will have learned from their previous mistake, almost crossing the 40% threshold, which would only net them 3 points. If they did, they will hold on to 4 points here. I believe they had a contest that would be for under 50%. That gives them 6 points. And we also have
game over.
The Fellowship 73%. I love that number. Very well done. They also netted 7 points here with having 70% surviving, and I believe they also contested here. It was 10 points to 19, although another goal might have been in play, so we'll have to see if that counted as 50% for 5 points, or if it was 2 points for less than 50%. And let's check it out. This was scored a Fellowship 9 points to Sabre's 6 points. So Sabre able to get off that 2-point contest. Blackbeard saying it wasn't worth it, but they might have actually been under 60% at that point. Maybe not though. He's obviously a lot more aware of what's going on than I am, having been there in the moment and leading his team, constantly providing the point updates as well. It's been a lot of help. And Fellowship netting 9 points. So that only counted as a less than 50% contest tag. Unfortunate it was not able to push the 50% threshold. I believe there was like a single stray goal that was able to make the difference there. Or perhaps one of these satchel goals had already been taken out. We did get to see a small satchel explosion pop off this game, so congrats to Peg Boy. I know he wishes it was a little bit bigger, but still job well done. A little game improvement from game 1 to game 2 right there. Let's look at the stats. Sabre Rummers getting out BC'd 12 kills to 36. That's a 1-to-3 ratio right there in kills to losses. Clearly reflected in the percentage and overall points scored at the end of the match. Blackbeard 2-1, 9 damage. Wayward 1, 5 kills, 3 losses. The Scurvy Dog with 21 damage. Pete the Cabin Boy going 2-1 with 30 damage. Yellow Belly 2-10, 22 damage. Ol 1-Eye 1-8 with 7 damage. And Whitey not able to net a single kill, taking major losses, attempting to push Mobit's artillery over here, netting 24 damage. Unfortunate for his forces. And for the Sabre Rummers, that might have been an actual 20% right there. That unfortunately they will not get back. As you can see, 4 units surviving. I do not see them anywhere. They might actually be over here. Yes, I have found them. But yeah. Let's see here. For the Fellowship, we got Pooh Bear, Pooh Beard. No stats, but providing plenty of orders and insight for his team. Mobit's coming up big, leading the game in kills, in damage. 13 kills, 1 loss. All those kills and all that damage coming from picking apart Whitey's forces. I don't think he matched up with a single other player in this game, and he just picked them apart in the attempt to push. Showing why Cracks CTF is one of the more highly controversial maps when it comes to what is fair and what is not when it comes to team gaming. And next up we have El Peg Boy 9-8 with 21 damage. Yellow Molly 8-0. Flawless in his ratio, netting 70 damage. Rumox with 40 damage. 4 kills to 1 loss. Old I. We get the 2 kills, 0 losses, and 21 damage. And Ballistic getting cut off. He had 0 survivors, 0 kills, and 6 losses, netting 10 damage for his team. Some interesting passive play so far. These first 2 games are pretty long, so I'm going to take a little break before we get back to the remaining 3 games. Right now, the lead is in the Fellowship of Stoneheim favor. They've been able to secure more points in both games, each game netting +3. So they lead by 6 points with a total of 16. And the Sabre Rummers, they have 10 points at the moment we'll have to see how the rest of this match goes. Be sure to stay tuned to the rest of this series. Press the like if you like it. Press subscribe if you already haven't and you'd like to see more updates on games such as Myth 2. Definitely a classic and unique phenomenon in its own right. And thanks again for joining me, viewers and Mythers old and new. We will see you in Game 3. This is Par73 signing out. And the GGs roll.